Hi guys, I wanted to pop in here real quick, and I had a thought of something that's been on my mind, and I wanted to share it with you. Um, my husband and I and our younger son moved down to Florida about 12 years ago, and my older son had graduated high school, and he had a job, and he was staying in Maryland. Um, my mom and my dad and my sisters and my brother were still there, so it was just basically us coming down here, and I was okay with that because, like I said, my older son was grown. He had a job, he had a home, and he was going to be good. Um, and I could talk to my family on the phone. We went back and visited back and forth, and it was good. Now, when my son got engaged and he was planning his wedding, things were a little more difficult because I felt a little left out. I wasn't there to help go with my daughter-in-law to pick out her dress or help with whatever wedding things you wanted to do. We had my husband and I and my son's father were paying for the dinner for the rehearsal, and I wasn't really familiar with the area anymore. I didn't know what was still there, and we were doing the rehearsal dinner, so I had to rely on them to scout out some places, and then I got in contact with these places. It was difficult, but it's manageable. My son comes down here, we go up there, we see each other 2 to 3 times a year. Now, fast forward, when my son and daughter-in-law got pregnant, that was a little harder. I never thought that I would be a long-distance grandma. Um, I wanted to be there when she was born. I wanted to be there for all those little milestones in their lives and be able to see her every other weekend or whenever we could, living closer to her. And we didn't have that opportunity. And now, my grandmother, when I lived in Maryland, my grandma lived down here in Florida. We spent every single summer with her. Once we were able to fly on our own, my parents sent us down here and we spent 3 months with them. But my grandmother always made sure to make a phone call every week and to write us a letter every week. And she would send us $1 in our letter every week. That was our allowance. So I was a little worried that my granddaughter would not know me. Um, so as soon as my granddaughter was born, the very first, right after they took her home, my son and daughter-in-law would put her in her car seat or her baby seat and put her in front of the telephone or the laptop or the iPad, and we would Skype. And that was huge. That was huge for me. I know she couldn't understand a word I was saying, and it was more having a conversation with my son and daughter-in-law. How are they doing? How is she doing? Those kind of things. But I would talk to my granddaughter along the way too. Um, Now my husband and I got to go up when she was 6 weeks old, and that was the first time we got to meet her. And I was really excited about holding her for the first time and all those grandparents jitterbugs. But I was afraid she wouldn't know me. I was afraid she wouldn't come to me because they make those attachments early on. But when we got up there, I noticed as soon as we started to talk to her, even if she wasn't looking our way, she would turn her head to acknowledge that she knew we were there. Now my granddaughter is now 4.5 years old. She'll be 5 in August. Actually, she'll be going to school in August. It's crazy. Um, and we've continued these things, whether it's on Skype or Facebook, or there are so many apps out there that you can chat with your granddaughter, your grandchildren, your son, your daughter, whoever, to keep that relationship alive and let them know you're around. Um, Recently discovered one that I really like. It's called Marco Polo, and I can send her a little, "Hey Harper, how you doing? Noni loves you. I miss you very much. How's the weather?" And whether they're busy or not, they can when it's convenient for them, they'll just go on. They'll say, "Hey, Noni sent me a message," and then my daughter-in-law will say, "Okay, tell Noni what you're doing." And she'll tell me she just went to the potty, or she just had ice cream, or Noni, it's cold here. I'm ready to come down to the beach. Those kind of things. So I wanted to get that to all you grandparents out there. It's really important that we keep up this communication, and there's so many apps out there. So don't feel like you're going to be a long distance grandparent and you're only going to get a year, one or two times a year visit, or you're only going to get to see them on holidays or something. There are lots and lots of ways to make that connection, and that will make your relationship extra strong and wonderful. Talk to you guys later. Bye.